Alright guys, here at my stove I've got a tablespoon of fresh olive oil that is being heated up on medium high. I'm going to use that to sweat out my veggies. For ingredients, here's what we've got. I've got one onion about this size that I've roughly chopped into 1-inch pieces. Back here I did the same thing with a leek, but I also made sure after I cut that up to thoroughly clean it. A lot of times between these green parts is where dirt can lie, and we don't want that in our stock. Some carrots that I cut into about 2-inch pieces. Those were also thoroughly cleaned for dirt. I have some celery here. My celery was actually frozen. It was in my freezer for about a week or two. It was just getting a bit past its prime, and I wanted to save it to make sure I can make veggie stock later on. You can actually do that with any of the ingredients here. I've got about 2 ounces, or about a half cup of tomato that I've also roughly chopped. I've got 5 garlic cloves that I simply crushed and removed the outside skin. I have here 4 parsley stems, just like so, and then I also have 4 sprigs of parsley with the parsley still intact. And then right here I have a teaspoon of full black peppercorns. I have 1 bay leaf and about a half teaspoon of thyme. Alright, so simply to get started, we've got this heating up already. We're going to sweat out our vegetables. I'm going to add in my onion first. Alright, now that we got all our fresh vegetables, our garlic and our parsley in here, we're going to move them around, let them get back up to temp, and we're going to let these sweat out for about 10 to 15 minutes. I like to agitate them every now and then, and you want to make sure you're not cooking your vegetables, you're just letting them become tender and translucent. Alright everyone, as you can see here, the vegetables have sweat down a little and produced some liquid at the bottom of the pot. If you're interested in making this stock process go faster, because it does take about 45 to an hour and a half for the final product to be finished, you can cut your vegetables much smaller. This will also help out in the sweating process. So now that our vegetables sweat down, I'm going to turn up my heat because we're going to bring this to a boil. So I'm going to add 1 gallon of cold water. The reason that we use cold water is that it helps draw out all that tasty flavor that we want to get into our stock. We've got our 1 gallon of cold water that we added in. We're going to add in bay leaf, dried thyme, and our peppercorns. Give it a good stir. Hit it with a lid. We're going to bring this just to a boil and then reduce to a simmer. We do not want to overboil our stock. That'll break apart our vegetables. That'll cause them to cook faster, and we won't get the desired flavor and clarity that we want out of the stock. So once more, bring to boil, reduce to simmer. Alright, I'm going to remove the lid, reduce the heat down, bring this to a simmer, then we're going to let it go for about 45 minutes to an hour and a half. Now that our stock is nice and simmered, we're going to take and strain out all the vegetable gunk from the inside of our stock. Here I'm using a fine mesh strainer with some cheesecloth. You can find cheesecloth usually within the kitchen needs section of your grocery store or at a kitchen store itself. Now that we've got our stock strained, we're going to put this in the freezer with the lid off to allow it to properly cool. Stock should hold good in your freezer for about 3 months. I like having some basic veggie stock around the house. It's a great starting base for a lot of soups, and it's a great use for your leftover veggie scraps. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to thumbs up, leave your comment down below on what you thought, and subscribe to The Veggie Nerd for future vegetarian videos. Oh, and for a list of ingredients, make sure to check out the description. I hope you're all having a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.